How are we doing, folks? Welcome back to the Standard Sports Recap. I'm your sports editor, Brenner Moore.
I'm the sports columnist, Blaine Wheeler. Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor of this video, Larry Catt Law Office. He is the #1 lawyer in Springfield for drug, DWI, and traffic cases. If you have any problems, give him a call. Let's start this off with some Bears basketball. I think that's a thing that's on most people's minds who are Bear fans. They've struggled. 5-5 in the Missouri Valley Conference. They've dropped 3 straight. Just this week, they played at Bradley Tuesday, and then Saturday they played Southern Illinois, dropping both games. The Bradley game by 20 points in a game they were favored. It's a head-scratcher. And then Southern Illinois came down to the last second. You think the Bears are going to pull one off at home, and they didn't. And it comes at a weird time. Reggie Scurry and Abdul Fofana are out with chirotherapy treatment. I'm not sure exactly what the injury is, but they will be gone. It's blistering. Yeah, so it got a little bit too cold in there. Freak accident. But it hurts the Bears a little bit. And you saw that in the week. The 20-point loss just missed the scoring of Reggie Scurry. And it kind of spread across the attitude. Everyone was down about it. Paul Les said it affected the team. I mean, they're kids is what he said. So they're going to look to get back on track tonight against Illinois State. The game they lost earlier in the year at Illinois State. They're looking to bounce back and get a win.
So moving on from that, swim and dive just wrapped up their, the men did at least, the women wrapped up their season last week, but the men had one more regular season event at the Notre Dame Invitational this past weekend. Couple big schools. Missouri State didn't finish too hot as a team, but of course you're going up against Notre Dame, Wisconsin, some big swim teams, some really big programs.
It might be good to see some of that competition before conference tournament here in February.
In fact, that's what Coach Collins even said. He said that the reason they come to this meet is not necessarily to try and walk home with the gold, but at the same time to prepare the swimmers for the next level of competition that they're going to be facing in both their conference championships and potentially in the NCAA tournament. A few bright spots, though, however. Artur Osvoth, you may have heard of him, the phenom from Hungary that's swimming for us. He broke another record, to no one's surprise. Yeah, exactly. In fact, he broke a record at the Invitational that he set last year. So this comes as just another weekend for Osvoth.
This is a guy you think Berger, Johnson, some of the greats at Missouri State. He has got to be up there, if not further, of any of the guys.
It's nuts. It just seems like every time he steps into the pool, there's another record's gone.
Automatic.
Moving on to our last story of the week, we do have the Lady Bears. They did drop their first in a while against the Southern Illinois Salukis as well. However, their game necessarily wasn't a bad loss. In fact, it was a really good loss, only losing by 2 points. Coach Harper, she even sounded incredibly positive on the post-game radio show. You heard her talking about everything they did right instead of focusing on the wrongs, which I think is huge, especially as you're turning into the second half of the conference season, kind of where the standings already set and everyone knows what they need to do to make their run on the conference. So it was really good to see that. The downfall for the Lady Bears came late in the fourth quarter. Originally in the first half of the game, the Salukis were not really shooting strongly from the free throw line. We saw them going 5 for 15 by the end of the third quarter, I believe. That's not a great stat, especially compared to Missouri State, who usually shoots around that 70% from the line. And they depended on that. They got down late in the fourth quarter like any NBA team. They started drawing fouls, hoping for those second chance shots that they could rebound and take down and get a leg up. And for one reason or another, Salukis started sinking free throws. And that kind of sealed the deal for the Lady Bears, and they walked away with a defeat. However, I don't think it's going to be a major defeat for them. I think they're going to bounce back this week when they continue the next 2 games, Friday and Sunday. And I think that they're in a really good spot at second place in the Missouri Valley, tied with the Salukis. They're both still chasing after Drake University, who has an undefeated Valley record. It's a good place for the Lady Bears, and they have no reason to lament over that loss.
Yeah, they're sitting in a good spot. Like you said, they're fun to watch, too.
Yeah, they are.
When we talk about Ellie Ruthridge, you'll see her in the feature today. It's something you did. I look forward to reading that because she's someone that I love to watch out there. She's about two inches shorter than anyone on the floor and just gets after it. So I think that's going to be a fun story that she has.
Brings a lot of fire. She just, Liza Fruin, even in the story, talks about how she brings a spark to the court when she jumps off the bench and Fruin even said that sometimes that's what championship teams need, is that person off the bench. And Ellie has welcomed that role and can't wait to perfect it. That's everything we had this week. I'm Brenner Moore.
I'm Blaine Wheeler.
We will see you next week. And before I send you off, one last time, any drug, DWI, or traffic charges, call Larry Cat Law Office. He's your man in Springfield.